podcast is proudly brought to you by the American Green Corner by the US Embassy KL in collaboration with Sabah State Library and Kinabalu Podcast Tanjung Aro.
American Green Corner, or AGC, is actively encouraging education and cultural exchange between United States and Sabah. The awareness of environmental issues, climate change, as well as offering us conducive space of operations to organize and operate our programs with our team at the American Green Corner.
To know more, follow us at the agc.sabah on Instagram and TikTok and American Green Corner Sabah on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Punkis, Kihoy!
Bodine, tell him, what are we going to do? You going to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable.
Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now. Because I've been to the mountaintop.
407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new day. And she is remembered. Dedicated to the conversation of all men are created.
From the beauty of Kinabalu to the white sands of Menayau, this is the American Green Corner Podcast.
Assalamualaikum, saya Richado.
Saya Kenny.
Dan kami dari AGC Podcast bergabung tenaga dengan Kinabalu Podcast.
Legit.
Ya, you have to say that right. Bertemu kita di episod yang kelima kan, Plan? Tadi 4 kan? Oh, like that. So this should be like the ke-6. Okay, yang ke-6 lah. Tapi lain baju je. Tukar baju lah kira. And of course, kali ni di AGC Podcast ni, the best thing about AGC Podcast, kita boleh bawa ramai orang untuk to share experience, to share inspiration, dan juga to share knowledge pasal macam-macam benda yang ada di Sabah, mungkin kurang diminati, kurang dipandang di Sabah. Dan antaranya yang saya dapatan saya dalam bahasa Melayu is the mural painting di Sabah ni sangat kurang. Dan the artist himself ataupun herself sangat kurang. Saya dah tahu probably sebab saya rasa saya nampak kurang. Tapi after like I think 5 years back to recent, ada banyak sudah orang nampak kan yang dibangun bangunan di KK, ada mural. Lepas tu if you go to Sandakan pun ada sudah start this doing mural, Tawau. So macam kadang-kadang kamu tahu juga how they pindah such a big orang bilang a canvas kan.
Macam mana diorang scale it kan?
Yeah, that's
with a small brush, who knows.
Talking about this, kita ada guest hari ni. Welcome to the studio, Jared Abdul Rahman.
Halo. Selamat
apa, Jared?
pagi ke petang, saya pun tidak tahu.
Okay. Dia boleh cakap Melayu kan?
Dia boleh cakap Melayu lah. Stereotypical kan.
Saya orang putih campur orang putih saja. But welcome to the studio, Jared. Memang to be frank, you are in our list. Dah lama sudah.
Long time.
Yeah, long time. So so kami sangat berbangga lah to have you here. And untuk pengetahuan semua, Jared Abdul Rahman ni adalah an artist dan dia juga adalah muralist. Adakah tu dipanggil?
Ya, boleh juga. Tapi jaranglah saya pakai label tu.
Okay.
Because memang ada orang lain yang lebih hebat lah.
Oh, okay. So memang ada muralist, memang ada. The term,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So today we will call you.
For me, I don't know,
tukang cat,
imposter syndrome sikit. Yeah.
Okay, so Jared ni
tukang cat.
Basically secara artistik lah, secara artistik lah.
Alright lah.
So everyone, Jared Abdul Rahman adalah muralist ataupun orang bilang artist. Banyak orang di Malaysia, di pengetahuan pembelajaran Malaysia ni banyak mengatakan yang kalau artis ni mesti penyanyi atau pelakon. But actually artis ni diadaptasi daripada bahasa Inggeris, yang mana artis ni pada asalnya adalah yang melukis dan membuat benda-benda yang seni, arca dan sebagainya.
Betul.
So Jared, kau ni orang apa? Kau ni orang putih, cakap Melayu, kau boleh, you can converse and all. You can explain in both way, mana-mana kau suka lah.
Okay.
Orang Marik kah?
So whenever people say, I thought orang putih, I'll say macam tapi bukan.
Okay.
But both are true lah, because my mom is the orang putih from Australia and my dad is the orang sini.
Okay.
Oh.
So
yeah.
You were born there?
Born here.
You born here?
Here in
Sabahan.
KK. Yeah.
You grew up where?
Di KK.
Okay.
Di KK, SPM di KK, and then baru after high school pergi university di Australia.
Okay.
I see.
Kerja sikit, and then came back 2018.
Oh, I see.
Lama juga dari Australia tu lah.
Yeah.
Dia ada slang-slang mesti lah kan.
How long? Terus English ya. How long were you in Australia?
I was there for 11 years, and then 2 tahun lagi saya pergi.
You want to hear the Australian accent? But come on, man.
Let me hear that. Chris
Come on, man.
Well, it depends who I'm talking to.
Okay.
Right.
So if I'm talking in English here, normally in KK, well, it's this lah. My vowels are shortened.
Okay.
But because this is memang my how I grew up speaking English.
All right.
But of course, when you go overseas,
Okay.
your vowels become elongated.
Oh, wow.
But then pun when I go to Australia, I don't sound Australian.
Okay.
So it's just how we grew up. When we grew up in KK, we watch a lot of American TV, a lot of British TV.
Correct.
So your accent is memang
campur baur
Mixed
lah.
lah.
Mixed lah.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. We actually have talking about Australia lah di Sabah ni. Banyak orang sini yang bukan saja mixed marriage tapi berpindah di sana, and then ada anak-anak dia balik di sini dan sebagainya. It's very, orang bilang sangat close lah Australia dengan Sabah ni. Kalau back in the war time dulu, the Australia yang ada banyak tolong juga di sini.
Yeah, man.
During the war. Now kita balik kepada Jared Abdul Rahman. Dia lahir di sini, membesar di sini, and went back to Australia, study and everything, and kerja sikit-sikit. But how kau balik sini, kau terus jadi tukang lukis dinding atau macam mana?
Tidak. So the university, okay. Let me take you back.
Alright, bring us back. Bring us back down memory lane.
Rewind.
So when I was growing up, masa di high school, what I wanted to be was a writer.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So penulis. Poetry lah, novel lah. So when I went to university, apa yang saya mau belajar, I didn't want to study writing sebagai journalist. Instead, I wanted to study to broaden my knowledge. So whatever I studied, I wanted it to be a broad knowledge base. So
I see.
Geography, apa lagi? Philosophy, psychology, and then English literature juga lah. Okay. And then don't worry, this is a good story. And then
Carry on, man.
And then I realized that semua subjek tu bukan saja boleh kira arts, tapi two of them boleh kira science.
Okay.
Geography sama psychology.
Science.
As long as you do statistics, a bit more of the science side lah.
Okay.
So I did arts and science, and then over the course of my degree,
where were you again? Back
Australia.
I mean,
yeah.
What which university?
University of Tasmania.
Okay.
The university on an island.
Yes. Yeah. So
where
like this lah.
Where Tasmanian devils ran away here and there a lot lah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit inaccurate, tapi yes.
Dia kasih betul saya lah kan kira.
Okay.
Okay.
So that then doing, cause double degree kan, so 4 tahun.
Wow, double degree.
Alright. Yeah, arts and science. And then afterwards, I thought, okay lah, saya fokus pergi science, and then my honors extra tambahan 1 year was environmental science.
Wow.
So shifted sikit to the more science side, ecology, environmental science. So that is my academic background. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And then coming back here, this is where I'm going. Coming back here, of course, what I studied, what my expertise konon is in
Okay.
about the natural world, about human interaction. So boleh kira arts juga lah.
Okay.
But then here, I don't know. I feel like a lot of those jobs would be either in KL, or at least that was my thinking at the time.
Okay.
I'm sure it's not necessarily true.
Okay.
My thinking at the time was to work in that field, you have to be in KL or I don't know, Singapore lah, whatever. The main cities
city
in
lah,
the
big
region.
cities lah.
Yeah, and And lagipun I belum lagi decided that I was gonna stay because kira macam passing through lah from Europe pergi Australia. But then
singgah kampung sekejap lah.
Because lama sudah tidak jumpa ibu bapa kan.
Alright.
And then here got involved in local community stuff. I started some things myself. Reconnected with some childhood friends. Suddenly got girlfriend.
Suddenly got married.
Suddenly got married.
Okay.
Not in that year lah. Of course, ada planning lah.
Jangan kasih betul lagi. Takut yang jumpa terus kahwin. Pungut sejak kahwin dulu.
And then, tapi that year because I wasn't working and I was still a little bit in not tourist mode, but macam banyak free time.
Visiting lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everything was kind of still fresh, still new. Oh, how can I help? What can I be involved? Not the bangun pagi and then pergi 9 to 5 and then balik and then tengok wayang and then go to sleep. Not
routine.
Ada tengok wayang di ujung.
So one of the projects that came up in that year 2018 was Pillars of Sabah.
We're heading there.
Yes. So that one, what sucked me into, what made me passionate about it was the benefit to the community through arts, but basically just giving a platform, a voice to local people, like everyday people, to do something that maybe they don't necessarily have a chance to do.
Like a platform to voice out.
Tapi the focus is not so much the platform, but just bringing people together. For what purpose? The purpose was on Malaysia Day, just celebrating Sabahans. Sabahans as Malaysians. So 2 in 1.
Kau terlibat ke yang di Australia kas turun bendera? Tidak kan?
No. I was here.
Disclaimer.
Let's just tukar tajuk lah. Go there. So yang into the melukis and everything ni, kau memang pandai melukis ke atau macam mana?
Okay. So again, in high school, saya tidak mau belajar. Memang everyone kena paksa belajar art, kan?
Betul.
But then sebagai elective, I didn't want to choose it because number one, maybe I wasn't very good. Number two, I thought that because art for me was personal, to do art and then kena graded in SPM, suddenly it's not personal. It's like it becomes over. I don't know.
I understand. It's like you need people to evaluate from macam evaluation pula kan, to validate your painting and all.
But then also, so for me the art, if I was to do art, it's for myself. When you're being graded, you're doing art for that person lah, right? Or to tick the box.
Good way to put it.
So of course now I realize that there's obviously benefits to learning how to tick the box. Just at that time I wasn't I didn't see the value in it. So I never considered myself an artist. I like to paint, I like to draw, but was I very good? I don't know. Probably not. Depends lah. You know, right? Art is subjective.
Pandai kau jawab.
And then, so my main, I guess, skill in 2018 was being able to organize. Before that, I also worked on big projects. I say projects, tapi film. So film productions as a production assistant, and then climbing the ladder lah, and then so basically
producing now.
Jumping the gun. So when you work on a big production and you have these people telling you to do all of these things, and you're like, I don't know how to do it. They don't care. You just have to make it happen.
Oh my God.
So you learn how to make it happen, right? So that skill is very useful when you come to any environment where they tidak biasa for whatever, and let's say you don't have help, it's up to yourself lah to make it happen.
Okay.
So at that time, bringing 30 artists together, cari funding, getting approval, doing this lah, that lah.
All you.
Well, no, it wasn't all me, but
you learn one of each of it lah.
I guess at the time, that was I was more behind the scenes, helping to pull it all together lah. Yeah, paperwork lah, jumpa,
funding lah.
Yes, all of the tedious stuff.
We go to what you're doing later on, but I want to talk about your mural and everything. Kau sudah berapa lama doing mural?
Gosh, the first one that I did, masa pandemic. Yeah, 2020. So the reason it was me, actually, the reason I started doing it was because masa pandemic, it wasn't suitable to ask other people to pergi travel, and lagipun
MCO,
everything was just difficult.
Restricted.
Yeah, so I said, okay lah, I'll do for the client. I said, how about this? I'll do it for you myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So this one was di Sandakan.
Sandakan.
Yeah. Because crossing rentas daerah lah, desa lah. Yeah. Yeah.
So okay. Then 2020 you started doing mural and everything. How big is your mural so far? What I'm saying, my question, mana mural yang paling besar yang kau pernah buat?
Probably the current one that I'm working on. It's a commercial project lah. So di Menggatal in a apartment complex. Hopefully in the next couple of months boleh buka. And so
how big is this? It is
10-story high. No.
Oh, actually, no. Even bigger.
Terlalu banyak sudah.
Sabah Trade Center.
Sabah
Trade Center. That one sampai 5
tingkat
set scaffolding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tinggi tu, besar tu.
Yeah.
That is huge.
But of course not as big as the current biggest ones lah.
Yang you're doing right now.
No.
Yang ada di KK. Oh,
yang ada di KK.
Yeah.
Boleh kata sebut?
Tersebut sudah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Suruh dong bayar sponsorship lah. Well, anyway, I think people recognize juga tu yang ada di KK dan mungkin di mana-mana. Yang you're doing, basically kalau dorang minta kau buat, dorang minta kau apa permintaan dorang selalunya lah. Kalau dinding, dia according to the business atau macam mana?
Okay, so kalau brand yang besar, they won't look for me because usually the big brands di KL, and because I'm here in KK, and dorang punya marketing team, all the agencies semua di KL, they all don't know who I am.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So that way I focus on the clients yang
locally
and who know me.
Okay.
And so hopefully when they cari me, they actually not just looking for any old artist, but hopefully it's because they like my style,
your work,
my style, and hopefully what I stand for lah, which is more community benefit rather than commercialization
paintings.
Yeah.
Hold on, talking about style. So what is your style?
Okay, I don't know.
Community beneficial punya paintings.
So, the art style, of course, depends on
clients,
the client and
the theme,
and what is suitable. And mana tahu if I'm like, if I want to propose something, a different style, depends what has inspired me recently lah.
Okay.
So this. Other than the art style, my style, the approach is a little bit more focused to the community. So, for example, if someone asks me to do a work of art, I will be thinking, okay, number one, what is like
purpose of business?
Never mind the business, tapi what is if the people on the street look at it, what are they gonna think?
Okay.
Is it just or whatever? Is it what's
A
the
business
meaning?
or
What's the meaning of the artwork?
Let me give you a scenario lah. I have a nasi ayam.
Okay.
Kedai nasi ayam lah. So I said, Jared, this is a big platform for you to do. Do whatever you want. At least people nampak, dorang tahu tu itu dah melambangkan saya punya nasi ayam.
Okay.
What would you do?
Okay, so hypothetically speaking, just in this moment, my first question will be, I want to know your story. I want to know your story.
Okay.
How long have you been doing it?
Okay.
What is so it all comes back to the storytelling when I wanted to be a writer. So because if you can reach the
Audience,
the people, the rakyat, you have one chance. So it's hit or is it miss? So how to hit is you have to make them feel something. And a lot of the times it's when you present yourself, people will say, oh, it's either one or two things. One of two things. He's one of us or he's not one of us.
Wow.
Generally speaking lah. So especially kalau Sabah, with a lot of our narrative, how do you get people to be on board? You want them to identify with you. So he's one of us. Kalau nasi ayam, business nasi ayam, how long has he been doing this? Oh, memang sudah lama. So because his grandfather, mana tahu his grandfather punya father
punya business.
And then people will relate. Oh my grandfather used to come and eat here. So it's like, so it becomes part of the community, the cerita.
So there's a storytelling lah. There's a story behind it. But kalau kamu buat,
so number one, the storytelling. Then number two, hopefully in the story, there you can establish the roots to the place. Yeah.
Kira kalau bercakap sama artis ni kau kena betul-betul fokus.
It's very philosophical juga.
I mean, so that is my approach lah. Obviously, it's probably for the agencies DKL, they don't have time for this. They just want whatever is Instagrammable. Yeah.
But by all means, kalau dia bilang 20k apa-apa yang Instagrammable, hantamlah kan saya. Kah tidak, you still keep to your spirit and your passion to storytell.
Ideally, you want to do both lah.
Okay.
So of course,
you
there has
mix
to be an element of Instagrammable because that is number one, right? People need to be attracted to it visually, and then after you catch them, then hopefully they want to learn more. Then got the cerita lah.
Yang boleh engage lah. Gitu. I saw one of your I follow you, so I do saw your posting a few months back, mungkin last year. You atau early this year yang you were doing in dalam hutan tu. Kau sampai malam buat kau seorang.
Tahun lepas.
What was that about?
Yeah,
it's a mural, right?
Almost literally 1 year ago.
Danum Valley was it? No.
Close. Lahadatu.
Okay.
Almost Lahadatu.
Timbak Canyon.
Sorry, wait.
Timbak punya timbak.
It's a lot has happened this last year.
Wow.
Sungai Pin di Sukau, yeah.
They asked you to come over and do the mural lah, begitu?
Yeah. So part of the conservation area, so they wanted to. They're slowly transitioning to add extra ecotourism punya activities. So just to make it more. The word everyone likes to use when talking about murals is this beautification lah.
More colorful.
Yeah.
Tu you doing alone kan tu?
No. So that one I had a team of 7. I was one of 7.
How long you
so they gave us 10 days. 10 days to paint 4 buildings kah?
My goodness.
Yeah, so kerja
siang malam mau kerja.
Yeah, so we started macam jam 7, maybe when we were a bit more relaxed, jam 8 sampai 10 o'clock
malam.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when we got back tidur macam 12 lah.
Oh.
So
pagi start balik for 10 days.
So yeah.
Was it a good money
Yes, so that was, I mean, obviously because of not only the size of the project, tapi also the time limit. So we had to work like crazy lah.
Okay.
So
Wow. The adrenaline rush was addicting.
Let me ask you what I asked about the profit from it.
Okay.
Basically yang muralist ni ataupun let's say just a general one, bukan yang terlampau bagus punya lah. I mean yang can do mural lah. How much do they pay? Macam mana dorang who put ratings ataupun price list?
I don't think there's a standard. No official standard lah, but there is a general understanding because everything is in relation to the other person. So if these people are charging this much, then
you follow.
Well, not necessarily you follow lah, but
ada benchmark for you lah.
Yes. So if you charge too crazy high compared to them, they will start questioning why are you so expensive. Or if you charge too low, then you spoil market.
Betul.
So you need to whatever you charge, you need to justify.
I see.
And the things that need to be considered are your experience, your quality. Hopefully those two are together lah. With more experience comes better quality lah.
Betul.
Your name. So for example, you have celebrity artists, just because of their name they can charge more.
Yes.
But
branding.
of course that one also is connected to their experience. Takkanlah they baru emerge and then they're famous.
Yeah,
They
betul.
must have some kind of experience usually, unless it's like viral TikTok or whatever.
Ya, ada. I cut you because ada yang artis ni kan, dia nak pakai tudung tapi dia jual tudung.
Hipokrit.
Ataupun yang jual pil kurus tetapi tapi jangan body shaming. Jangan body shaming sinilah. Okay.
So when people say you don't put price on art,
Pil tumbuh rambut.
kami ada rambut. Never mind.
Iyalah.
So when they say you can't put price on art, what do you think about that?
You can. You can, but when the person depends who is putting the price lah, and not everyone will agree.
Right.
For example, let's say one small piece of art you want to charge 10,000 ringgit. Let's say.
Okay.
Of course, generally speaking, small. Sudahlah, I said the keyword small, right?
Yeah,
and then 10,000. So mostly people be like, "What? Oh, are you crazy? You're dreaming." Okay. But then suddenly you might find someone who has 10,000 ringgit lying around, and then they really really feel something when they see it.
Yeah.
Right.
That is so the connection. Or they don't even care about the art. They just want to collect because they are collectors. And you are the artist who
Fine.
I don't know, they want your work.
Yeah.
Then they just buy it lah, like it's nothing. So money.
Yeah.
Some people have a lot, some people don't have a lot.
Berbalik kepada rating harga untuk artis ni. Pernah berlaku di Singapore. Dia letak pisang di dinding.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened.
Wow. And
that's sold for millions.
Yeah. So millions. And also lepas habis sudah tu exhibition kan, tiba-tiba orang datang pergi makan tu pisang. I mean I don't know lah macam but this is the what I'm saying, macam mana macam Jared kalau dia mau letak dia punya pricing, kalau orang sudah kenal dia, kadang-kadang because of the name yang dorang mau, tidak I mean of course lah dia mestilah cantik kalau dorang sudah panggil Jared for example kan. So it because of the name. Like for example lah, contoh lah kartunis Ujang lah. They don't Ujang ba tu?
Yeah.
So okay, we don't care because it's Ujang, we're gonna pay you begini.
10K.
We know that he can deliver, begitulah.
Wow.
Talking about that, escalating to the question ataupun ada dia mau tambah, but never mind.
Okay.
Do you think the future of artis di Sabah ni can sustain ke?
Ada harapan nggak di sini?
Memang ada harapan.
Okay.
Always ada harapan. That's never in question. It's just about the intention, the ambition. So if your ambition tiada, or macam everything is fine, kalau you are complacent, then there will be no not progress lah, but there will be no change, no positive change moving forwards.
You'll be stagnant lah.
Stagnant. Which maybe is fine because if nobody wants things to change, then what's the use, kan?
That's true.
If you are pushing for change, but you are the only person pushing for change, you are the problem.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
In the community lah, you will be like, this guy.
Tiba-tiba jadi falsafah aja sekarang.
Obviously, I'm exaggerating lah.
We understand, of course.
If it is like, if it is really, really, really true that the change that you are pushing for is better, then it's up to you to hopefully to change the mindset of the people who are stagnant. But that in itself is one task that belum lagi doing the change. You have to convince people to want the change.
Okay. Talking about orang bilang the supply and demand di Sabah inilah. Ada banyak demand nggak?
For art,
What do you think?
Depends on what type. So of course a lot of, if we think about Sabah sebagai destinasi pelancongan. So if our approach, our market, our, I don't know what you call it, our model is focusing on tourists, especially if we focus on the ones yang mass tourism. So not necessarily the ones yang spending money. So they're doing the bare minimum. So maybe what they will buy is keychain lah, postcard if you're lucky, but all those things. And then if you want to think about it from cost-effective point of view, of course this is why a lot of our keychains and souvenirs like that are mass-produced overseas. Because it's cheaper to produce it overseas.
You mean China?
I was going to say certain country, but you just went ahead.
Right. Well, everybody know what that means.
I don't know why I bothered to be PC. Okay, so if that is the market, then people can say, "Yala, there's a demand." But is that the demand you're going for, or you want to shift to the quality, the higher quality? Okay, this is still within tourism, the topic of tourism.
Okay, right.
You need to hopefully to shift lah, or not shift, but to tambah.
Okay.
Oh, enhance.
That is about tourism. That is orang luar. Local, the local market, I think we are born and raised to not see the value in art.
Okay, you're right. Especially here,
So,
you are right.
Which, it is what it is. Especially when our focus is, when you grow up, when you want to study, you should be a doctor, you should be a this lah, that lah.
The stereotypical choice of
government, kerja government.
Correct.
So of course, art is right at the bottom. In fact, probably even lower than
the bottom.
Even lower than the janitor.
Okay.
Because the janitor actually has a purpose to keep things clean.
Okay.
Right. Whereas the artist, what does the artist do? Right.
What's your purpose?
Yes.
Beautifying?
What is your contribution? So this is where we have to, as advocates for the arts, we have to point out and present our case that actually, while we artists in ourselves may not have as much value as doctors and blah blah blah, but because we are not like the frontliners, we can add value.
All right,
we can add value. So
how?
So for example, let's say so the artists, we engage in creative thinking, creative design, creative whatever lah.
It has to be like workshop lah begitu kan, bengkel or some,
the process,
program.
Belum lagi.
Not yet.
So human creativity, human imagination.
Right.
Imagine if as an architect, when you build buildings or you design buildings, all your buildings are same and uninspiring and whatever, but then
boring.
So by including creativity, imagination, everything, then suddenly it can be iconic. And when it's iconic, it can be more inspirational. So where artists' value is to inspire.
Oh.
So otherwise everything becomes meaningless. Yeah.
But advocating is very hard actually sebenarnya. Macam saya cakap, kenapa saya kata itu program and everything, because saya rasa sangat kurang. Dan untuk makluman semua, kami bukan berada di hospital lah. We are Sabah State Library in AGC. Tapi ada lautan-lautan lah budak-budak. But if you listen, kalau terdengar, we are not in hospital.
Bukan klinik ibu dan anak kan?
Bukan. But advocating is very hard actually. Sebab kau mau ubah mindset orang, it's kind of very hard. So I think it goes back to satu, parenting, kedua education punya program di sekolah. Sebab saya terus terang, banyak kawan-kawan saya yang cikgu yang diorang ada murid yang sangat-sangat bagus, but they don't know where to go. Lasas diorang terbiar dong punya creativity dan sebagainya.
Padahal dia kreatif.
Yeah, they're creative and very good. Yeah. By the age kau nampak, kau pun dah boleh lukis macam begitu bah. And then after that diorang dah tahu mana mau pergi. And bila mau pergi kan, for example ada sekolah seni kebangsaan di sana kan, there's a school there yang Malaysian based punya. Bapa nak bagi because tidak apa yang dia mau jadi. Dia kalau dia jadi tukang pelukis dia
masa depan.
So advocating is actually very hard. So, tukar mindset tu is memang sangat susah. But you were saying ada future in the market, memang ada. So I do believe memang ada, because in this advertising line juga pun sekarang ni they are very creative. Bukan saja daripada social media tapi daripada dinding dan sebagainya. Talking to that, adakah for example kau perlu berhubung rapat with the local authorities di sini, so kau perlu untuk dapatkan permit dan sebagainya, ataupun the building owner perlu dapatkan permit kalau bila dia buat sangat besar punya mural?
Okay, so my approach,
I mean ada permit khas ke ni?
I don't know about permit khas, but memang you kena apply lah untuk permit. Because okay, kalau advertising I don't know.
Okay,
right.
That one I think for sure there's a special advertising punya permit lah, because it's advertising.
Correct.
Yeah.
What consists advertising? That one I don't know. I think depends on the city. So DBKK may be different from Penang.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sandakan pun different then.
Yeah. So for example, what I think I heard is, let's say lah kalau Penang, kalau Georgetown, as long as tiada perkataan, then it's okay. Something like that lah. Not it's okay, meaning it tidak masuk
dalam the guideline
iklan,
lah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not an iklan.
Okay.
Something like that lah.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
Right.
So it depends on the criteria.
I see.
And what is the purpose. But other than that, memang if you are disrupting the sidewalk, or you pakai the sky lift, of course it needs to park somewhere. So that one all needs a individual permit lah. Permit for this, permit for that. Yeah.
I'm saying the painting itself, because kadang-kadang kalau kau lukis something yang orang drive 2-3 kali orang tengok, because terlampau cantik,
So
boleh accident kan,
Ataupun too outrageous.
Yes.
For example, what? Okay, not say here. Okay.
Just cut me off, man. But I see what you mean when it comes to every sort of a career, including artists, they play a role. I was thinking about urban planning, since you're doing murals in the cities.
Yes.
When you do urban planning, if it's too boring, like not all shop lots and all that all have the same colors. When they start introducing, like, okay, let's say these shop lots are red, blue, yellow, it starts to become very colorful.
Yep.
And then when you introduce murals, it's like, okay, that art has a purpose there now.
Yeah.
And then when you do that for the whole city, it's like, it's vibrant, it's colorful.
Seperti episod yang sebelum ini dan mana-mana episod, masa sudah mencemburu. Again, same thing again. But
Man,
banyak mau cerita, tak apalah. We can carry to another episode, ataupun kita boleh
another vertical,
ataupun we can boleh DM kami di AGC, di Instagram dan di mana-mana social media kami.
Yes sir.
To close the session yang terputung di tengah jalan. Because I think a lot more to tapi banyak we learn from the session lah, di session.
Yes.
What would you inspire others? I mean, what would you advise to people young people yang ada talent ni, macam kau, for example, yang pandai melukis, yang artist line ni,
that wants to get into this?
Number one, obviously don't give up.
Okay.
Number two, just do it. Meaning, don't care what anyone else thinks, because why are you doing it? You're doing it for yourself. Even if you are just doing it as practice.
Pergi balai polis terus saya mau lukis.
Pick the right place lah.
Yeah. Of course. I understand.
Yeah, and of course, with more practice, if you hopefully get better.
Okay.
Maybe not necessarily better in the art style, but there's so many things. So even confidence, you just become better in confidence, tapi your art is still buruk. At least you learn confidence, right?
Yang kalau nyanyi, kalau tu lagu kisi, kau nyanyi lagu ni, confident. Well, I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean.
So
it's polishing your
soft skills.
Soft skills.
Bukan saja technical skills, tapi soft skills. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if it's just stick figures.
Well, there's a story behind that. I can tell you later the meaning of it.
For real? Okay.
But it's
Let's
not.
go.
I'm saying this. I'm not mocking artists and everything.
Definitely
But to spice up the session for sure. But as well, I myself I have to consider. Boleh kita consider an artist?
Boleh lah.
Because we are doing content, we need to inspire and aspire other people as well, kan?
Yeah.
So I think there's a art there juga, bukan senang-senang juga mau engage to other people.
Yes.
Viewers 5 macam mana kan?
Podcast is an art.
Yes. So before we end this, what is your next project? Are you in current project now?
I have a few in proposal stage, planning stage.
But it's top secret. Yeah.
Nantilah we.
Okay, boleh. All the best to you.
Thank you.
All the best,
you, man.
Jared Abdul Rahman. Boleh follow dia di Instagram dia. Boleh hire dia if you guys need your mural, your dull wall to be painted. Tapi kamu cerita behind dia, storytell. Sebab itu dia punya style. And aku pun agree to that. Thank you so much, Jared Abdul Rahman, for coming over to AGC podcast together with Kota Kinabalu podcast.
Thank you, man.
Sampai di sini saja. Tu apa yang tidak tahu pasal AGC ni adalah dia terletak di Sabah State Library yang offers kita a space of conducive space untuk mempelajari tentang environmental issues, tech issues, technology, ICT, education dan juga cultural exchange. So ada di sini boleh jumpa dengan Azmi, bolehlah bincang sama dia, kamu buat lawatan sekolah kah, lawatan anak-anak kamu kah, buat program di sini boleh bincang sama dia orang dan it's a space for you to learn more, educate yourself, educate more. Dan untuk podcast pula, kamu boleh dengar kami di Spotify dan juga di YouTube. This podcast is proudly brought to you by the American Green Corner podcast, American Green Corner by the US Embassy KL in collaboration with Sabah State Library Tanjung Aru.
American Green Corner or AGC is actively encouraging education and cultural exchange between United States and Sabah.
Correct.
The awareness of environmental issues, climate change, as well as offering us conducive space of operation to organize and operate our programs with our team at the American Green Corner.
To know more, follow us at agc.sabah on Instagram and TikTok, and American Green Corner Sabah on Facebook and YouTube. And our shorts will be out in our another vertical, which is Kinabalu Podcast. Tapi the whole episode will be only on AGC punya Spotify and YouTube. So kamu dapat snippet-snippet tu daripada Kinabalu Podcast, tapi kamu kena pergi AGC support dan share dan tag kami.
That's the whole concept.
So saya Richado,
saya Kenny,
and I'm Jared.
Kami dari AGC Podcast dan berkolaborasi bersama dengan Kinabalu Podcast. Ciao Jin. Ciao Bella. Ciao.
Untuk melengkapkan kemudahan-kemudahan dan peluang-peluang bagi meninggikan pelajaran anak-anak negeri Sabah yang cerdik, pandai, tidak kira apa bangsa, agama dan kaum.